It's a fascinating programme, isn't it? Lorraine, Bolger and Hillery Geelan join us now, alongside criminologist Professor David Wilson. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning.
So, Lorraine, let's go back to the beginning. How did Samantha come into your lives?
I'm a hairdresser. About 2016, I befriended her as a client. Lovely, bubbly girl, able to help people. I really thought she was fabulous.
Mm-hmm. And what did she say she did? What was her background?
She was a child therapist. She was opening a women's refuge in Dunleary. And we just wanted to help. We just wanted to help her set it up, and, you know, she seemed amazing.
Mm. And then, Lorraine, you put her in touch with Hillary because, Hillary, you have a little boy who's how old, Reece?
He's currently 13 years of age.
13 years old.
And he has autism. So the problem is the services we don't have. So, you know, the UK and Ireland, we don't have any services for any of our kids. So Lucy... I had a bad weekend, and Lucy, as I know her,
yes.
So Lucy, I rang her up and she came out basically that weekend, and it was a miracle that a therapist was available immediately. So I was so happy. It was like winning the lottery. It was just, whoa, we got some help finally. You know, there was nobody ready to help us.
So this was help that you were paying for, though. She described herself as a professional child therapist. And your son has neurodivergent needs, and she said she works with children like that. So she comes to the house, she looks after you, helps a little bit. What was it like having her there? What was that moment like?
It was €100 a therapy session per hour, and she was there for 6 hours. And the first time she was there, I was kind of panicking, but it was going to be for free. And
so like a trial session?
Like a trial session, just to get a rapport up. So I thought, oh, this is going to be brilliant, this is. And as I looked at her, I didn't have enough information about what an occupational therapist does.
Sure.
But I was like looking at her going, that's a bit weird. You know, everything that she did wasn't what I would have said a professional would have done, and the way that she carried herself, her manner and everything.
Right. And then, so then she kind of stayed with you guys and wanted to set up a women's refuge. So asked for donations?
Yep.
Yes.
And what did you end up giving her?
Well, she would ring you and say, I have a lady coming in with twins. We'd go off and get twin buggies, twin clothing, women's clothes, size 8. Somebody's pregnant, size 14.
So you'd provide all the various accessories and paraphernalia.
Because we have the contacts, people trust us.
Because we're
it's easier to ask for help for other people than it is to ask for help for yourself.
Right.
So we'd ask people, and people would provide us with size 10 clothes, double buggy, tins of tomatoes for the women's refuge. Sanitary items, baby items, toys, everything.
But it wasn't just items as well. In the end, she was saying that she was going to do a trip to Lapland.
Yes.
And everybody was donating money as well.
That was going to be subsidised, and all she needed was a copy of the passport and €100 per person.
So people started paying a deposit?
Yes.
So they could go on this trip. It sounded like a fabulous idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Subsidised Lapland. Subsidised by the church and by the refuge. Yeah.
And so you then started inviting other people to come on the trip?
Because we have a load of people that would be very maybe needy, have, you know, children with additional needs and stuff. And, so it seemed like a really...
And we also had Lynn, who had a terminally ill child with Rett syndrome, Daisy. So she was coming on the trip with her mother and her daughter, because Daisy wouldn't have been able to come on the trip because she has to have her oxygen.
Do you know how much money you fronted for that, particularly, to her?
I imagine she probably got in the region of maybe, I don't know, maybe 10,000.
10,000 euros.
But
for that particular...
But
scrap.
Money is not the issue.
No, of course. But it's interesting to contextualise it for the viewers to kind of understand the scale of what she was doing.
None of her scams was financial, always. Some of them was just to hurt people. She left one family homeless. She left them homeless because she got them a place to rent. And handed in their notice with their landlord. It wasn't just for financial gain.
OK. I'm not sure... We have to be careful about allegations with some of these things. I'm not sure that's been proven or not, so we have to give her a right of reply on that. So we just have to be careful that that's an alleged scam that she did. It's a fascinating thing, though, because, of course, your child is being looked after by this supposed professional who isn't a professional. At what point did you start questioning what was happening?
Yeah.
When did it start to unravel?
I picked her up from an appointment and I went to the receptionist and I said, "Hi, I'm here to pick up Lucy Fitzwilliams." And she said, "There's nobody here." And I said, "OK, Lucy Williamson." And I thought, oh, my God, I'm going mad. I'm getting her name wrong. And she said, "No." And I said, "Lucy Fitzwilliams, I don't know. And she goes, "There's a lady here by the name of Samantha." And I went, "What?" And I said, "That's a bit weird." And she says, "Well, she's the only lady here." So I said, "OK, yeah, that's her." And I walked in and there she was. And I'm like, "Lucy," I said, "the receptionist is after calling you by a different name." And she started panicking. "I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here."
So she never explained why
No.
this woman was calling her Samantha?
No.
And you didn't pursue that?
Oh, we did ourselves.
But at that point, you didn't? You then go back and start communicating?
No, you start kind of doubting yourself. Maybe I heard wrong. Maybe it was my fault. Even though I knew this lady for, at this stage, it would have been about 7-8 months. I had known her.
her €100 an hour for
Per
therapy?
session, 1 hour. That's what she was charging people.
Significant amount of money. You were paying her to do this stuff, to look after your child, the most precious thing in your life. It's an amazing thing to sit. But you can understand. I wonder, sort of, when did it really start to unravel? When did you both start to realise, and actually the wider community, that she wasn't all she'd cracked up to be?
Well, there was a few things, like she wasn't dealing with, like, maybe Reese properly. But I kind of went digging and I couldn't find anything about her. And then I went to the house that she was staying in, and then I checked with the council, and the house she was building wasn't in her name. And then I went door to door and I found that the refuge didn't exist. And
how do you feel at this point?
Well, the more and more stuff that I was getting, the more and more anxious I was becoming, because I had put her in touch with a lot of people. And so then I went to the house and I went through her stuff, and I found, like, you know, lots of things. But I found, like, the burner phones, the bank card with Samantha Cookes, all the notebooks with all the different...
And you set up a TikTok account too, didn't you? Where there was other people who'd scammed...
We're not very good at TikTok.
Right.
We're not very good at like Instagram or anything like that. We have very busy lives, and that's one of the reasons why she was able to scam us, because we never checked out her name.
Yeah.
So the TikTok girls, Chrissy, was after setting up this account, and Lorraine was after putting in this name. Like, every now and then Lorraine will put in her name to see what pops up into Google search.
Yeah.
And Chrissy's name popped up. So she said, she rang me and she said, "Hillary, you need to find out how to work that TikTok thing because I don't understand it." So I emailed Chrissy as best as I could with TikTok or whatever it was telling me to do. And I said, "You need to talk to Lorraine Bolger." Myself and Lorraine Bolger, we think we're with the same scam.
Yeah.
So Chrissy added us to the WhatsApp group with 20 other people who are our victims.
It's extraordinary, David, listening to this from your perspective and your understanding of how these people work. She was found guilty of some of her crimes, wasn't she, and sentenced?
Yes. So as recently as March 2025, so just a few months ago, she was found guilty of social welfare fraud. This is when she's claiming benefits under a completely different name, Carrie Jade Williams, in which she is claiming as that character that she has Huntington's disease.
Yes.
And in effect, she defrauds the Irish government out of €60,000. As Hillery and Lorraine were saying, sometimes this isn't about the money.
Sure.
This is about them being taken advantage of, because what she's very good at doing, as I was explaining earlier, and by the way, I love the fact I'm wearing Irish green. As I was explaining earlier, she's very good. Samantha Cookes is very good at being a mirror. She sees what you need and reflects back to you exactly what you want. So she was like, you know, you were looking for a child occupational therapist. Guess what? She's a child occupational therapist. She's very good at doing that. But yeah, she's been found guilty. She's also been found given suspended sentences in relation to other cons that she's taken part in. Often these cons fall into two different groups. She's either pretending that she's got an illness of some kind, or she's providing a service. The service is usually orientated towards children. The documentary, which is wonderful, is called Bad Nanny, because clearly she's claiming to be a nanny. Other times she'll claim to be a therapist. Other times she'll be claiming to be a psychologist. Or other times she'll be claiming that she's going to be a surrogate mother, an offence for which she received in England a suspended sentence.
We put all these allegations to Samantha. Her lawyers haven't had the opportunity to speak to her yet to get out what her response is. From your perspective, the thing that I can't understand is why she wants to do this. Because as the lady said, for her as well, it wasn't always about the money. It was just about control and it was about power. But why would she want to do it, David?
So I think that she's got a personality disorder. The personality disorder would be pseudologia fantastica, which I absolutely love as a name. It's just a wonderful descriptive clinical term, and it simply means compulsive liar. So this isn't somebody that is just going to tell little white lies, but consistently, compulsively lie. And the reason why she wants to lie is to present herself either as heroic or as sympathetic, and by doing so, she's a great performer. That's what you hear from Lorraine and Hillary. This is somebody who likes performing. She likes that centre stage. And so often, by presenting herself as heroic or sympathetic, she's able to manipulate you for money, although money isn't the point, because underlying all of this is probably something like narcissistic personality disorder, even a bit of psychopathy.
Can she be rehabilitated? I mean, she's in prison at the minute. She's serving a sentence now. What's the future hold? I mean, how do you protect people like Hillary and Lorraine in the future?
You protect people like Hillary and Lorraine because they're protecting other people by doing this show, by talking about what's happening. The judge has given 1 year of her 4-year sentence suspended in the hope that she gets treatment. Good luck with that. In my experience of dealing with people like this, there is no cure. They are born this way, and that's how they will remain until they die.
Well, thank you for coming in and sharing the story. How is the community? How is everybody now? Are you all sort of healing from this experience?
Well, we all have a really good support group. The WhatsApp group has led us down paths that we never thought possible with lovely friends, and that we'll all support each other. And that with the documentary, with your help, with what's happened here today, that no other families will feel the fear that she instilled.
Good for you, Lorraine.
So we win.
Let's hope so. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you very much.
You can watch Bad Nanny on BBC iPlayer and RTE Player from
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.